Welcome to the 61st edition of the Concacaf Champions Cup. We welcome you to a chilly night in Hamilton, Ontario. It is Forge and Tigres getting ready for kick here in our match. Temperatures will be in the negative degrees in terms of Celsius. Might have a little bit snow, but that likely will happen after the match closes out. But nevertheless, it is a cold night, and teams getting ready for their journey to the top. Yes, you need hand warmers, foot warmers, any kind of warmers that you can have. Of course, they have the blankets here at Hamilton Stadium ready for the fans as Forge looks to upend Tigres, a former champion of this tournament. Overall, there are 27 clubs that will take place in this tournament. 5 teams are making their debut. And of course, the winner of the tournament gets a bid to the 2029 FIFA Club World Cup, as well as the 2026 FIFA Intercontinental Cup. Last year's champions came from Liga MX. That was Cruz Azul. In fact, Mexican teams are responsible for 19 of the last 20 championships. And the journey to the final on May 30th begins here this evening. Forge out of the Canadian Premier League. They were the Shield winners last year, getting into this tournament because of that performance. Meanwhile, Tigres, they have won a championship this decade. That was in 2020. They've also finished runners-up 3 times in the last decade. Meanwhile, Forge is one of the newest teams in the entire federation. They started playing back in 2019, and they are preparing for their 4th appearance, each of those since 2022. Forge dominant out of the Canadian Premier League. We'll talk about them. Meanwhile, Tigres still has some holdovers from that championship team that won in 2020. We're all bundled up here in Hamilton, Ontario. Hope that you're bundled up and enjoying this one wherever you may be here this evening. It's almost time for the 2026 Concacaf Champions Cup Round 1 action here tonight in Canada. It is Forge and Tigres. Step out for a quick breather here as we close in on kick. And these two teams get ready for their first ever clash between these two sides. We'll have the starting 11s and set the stage for the opening kickoff here between Forge and Tigres in just a moment.
Gods of war come calling, promising you gold. They'll take your hammer, take your anvil, take your very soul. And it's sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the last singing the harmony and the song. And it's sparks are flying, passion strong. I am the last singing the harmony and the song.
Let me know. Here with you.
The anthems wrap up here in Hamilton, Ontario, and we are just about ready for kickoff here this evening. So great to have you with us for our matchup tonight. Michael Watchering and the rest of our team getting ready to snuggle up here and watch this match on a cold night in Ontario. The first of the 3 matches on tap this evening in the Concacaf Champions Cup. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Forge, and we take a look at this group. Start with the goalkeeper. Dimitri Bertu is making his team debut. This is a team that hasn't played since November and will not play again its league season until April 4th. So this is very much right in the middle of an abyss for this Forge team. In fact, they were in Cancun, Mexico, training to get ready for our matchup here tonight. Kyle Becker is the captain for the team, and the man with the whistle tonight is Armando Villarreal. He's from the United States, referees a lot of the Major League Soccer matches, and last year he officiated Tigres' second leg victory against Real Estelí, a 3-0 victory for Tigres on that night. There is the aforementioned Becker. He is joined by the captain for Tigres in Fernando Gloriaran, as those two meet for their final preparations here tonight. All-American crew leading the way and leading the charge, as our officials here this evening, including in the VAR room for our matchup. Chris Penzo is the man that will be dialing everything up as the lead in that room. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at this Tigres starting 11. The 2020 Golden Glove Victor Nahuel Guzman leads the way as the team's goalkeeper. There's that midfield that is so potent, but how about the 40-year-old up top, Andre Pierre Gignac, 10th all-time in Liga MX goals, 192 of them. He's 40 years of age. He won the silver ball in the Club World Cup back in 2020 and the Golden Boot in the 2020 Champions League, which is now, of course, Champions Cup. So these two teams with plenty of pedigree, plenty of talent, but Tigres have only lost one time ever to a Canadian side. That was in the quarterfinals back in 2018 to Toronto, losing on aggregate 4-4 on away goals in that matchup 8 years ago. So we're ready to go tonight. Forge in the green kits. It's the yellow kits this evening for Tigres. The whistle blows, and the 61st edition of the Concacaf Champions Cup is underway here in Canada. Forge and Tigres, two of the top teams in their respective leagues, clashing here tonight. And how much will that weather play a factor? It's a nice crowd here on hand to check this one out. Of course, this is seasonal temperatures for this time of the year. If you're a Canadian, if you're living in Mexico, much different than what you're used to. Bobby Spiridiotis is the lead man for Forge. He's been the lead man ever since the club was founded back in 2017, and he is looking for his team to have a day here against this Tigres group. Last year is Cruz Azul blowing out Vancouver in the final. And I wonder, will there be another Canadian team reaching the final? It looks like Nahuel Guzman has a little bit of concerns over the netting here. And if there's anybody that would know, it's a man that has been among the most experienced players in the world. 39 years of age for Guzman. He has played 535 matches for Tigres since 2014. Guido Pizarro, a look at him on the sideline. Early pressure here along the sideline, all the way to the corner before it gets floated out. Becker searches for it, knocks it down, picked back up by Lainez, and ultimately a throw for Forge here. Well, while Forge comes in, a couple months away from their season beginning. Long throw in, pounded to the sky, headed back, looking for Okioden. And then that shot saucers in from Lubuli. Liga MX's apertura is well underway. Tigres coming off a victory at León over the weekend. Flores and Lionez scoring 7 minutes apart to start the second half. And that made it a 2-1 win for a team right now that is 5 points off the pace on the table. That ball trickles out, goal kick, 2.5 minutes in. Well, everything is going to sting just a little bit more here tonight, particularly up in that region. You take a pop there, it's always uncomfortable. Doesn't matter how hard you're hit, it's super uncomfortable to get hit there. Lorona, you see that on a chilly night like tonight, it's gonna linger a little while longer than it usually would. Romulo works it around. Long distance pass over the top, but Guzman has it read. The first of 3 matches tonight, it'll be Olympian Club America coming up in about 2 hours. And the nightcap comes all the way at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. San Diego FC in its first ever journey into the Champions Cup. One of the 5 debutants takes on one of the legendary sides in this tournament, Pumas, coming up in San Diego. Should be much different temperatures there. Tomorrow it'll be Chelajú and Monterrey, and then Vancouver FC and Cruz Azul, a part of a 5-match opening week in the Concacaf Champions Cup. Lionez leads this for Garza. Circles, barely gets enough on that. Nearly worked out well, but mishit. Payton swings it to the middle of the field. Nudged aside initially, and it rattles around. And this shot attempt, one hops into the body of Bertu, native of the Congo, making his club debut. Spent a lot of time in the Montpellier club ranks, mostly in the second team, and now gets his chance with Forge in one of the best in the Federation in their league performances. I believe I heard that this is the 58th match for Forge in either postseason or Concacaf competition since 2019. That is nearly twice as much as any other team in the Canadian Premier League. So it just goes to show exactly what Bobby Spiridiotis has been able to produce within this group. First man misses, and then it comes over to the side. Garza nudges it across midfield. Lionez whips it to the side, intercepted. Rama steps up. How aggressive will these two sides be in a match like this? So you have Tigres in the middle of its season, but there were some questions what this Forge group might look like on night number 1. Getting ready for this opening leg. 22 teams will play in the first round. 5, of course, get buys. Lionez leads Garza once more. This time he flicks it back post. Stumbling to the ground is Bertu. And now we do get a late whistle. I think Bertu just misread that ball slightly on his back pedal. And then, of course, that collision in the middle of the park ensures that the whistle blows. The only non-Liga MX side to win the championship since 2006 was Seattle a couple of years ago. But here's a chance now for Tigres. Rolled back, shot attempt, misses wide. Well, that's by far our best look of the opening moments of this match. See it come back, and this shot attempt comes in from Juan Vigon. And unable to put it on target, high and wide. Well, in the run-up to this, Bobby Smirniotis credited Tigres, said more than likely, in his estimation, Tigres has been the best team in Liga MX over the last decade. It's on a consistent basis in that stretch, and they have so many players that are just consistent cogs that they can lean on, rely upon to have success on a night-to-night basis. The reigning champions are Cruz Azul. They're not one of those 5 teams that get the bye to the round of 16. Those teams are Toluca, Inter Miami, Seattle Sounders, Alajuelense, and Mount Pleasant. Toluca was ranked the #1 club team in the Concacaf rankings released earlier this week. Tigres, a top 5 team in the federation in those rankings. Tigres very much flexing its muscle early. Holding on to possession. Touching the ball around and keeping this crowd out of it. If you're a Canadian side, you're used to this. The final last year between Atletico Ottawa and Cavalry were played in the snow. There is snow on the Outer Banks, and you can see some just beyond the advertising. 10 minutes into this matchup, we're scoreless between Forge and Tigres in the first of our matches in round 1 of the Concacaf Champions Cup. It's almost a rite of initiation to play in weather like this, and it's a big reason why the league season doesn't begin until April. Forge had been so good at home. They had been one of the more dominant sides, 17 in a row unbeaten at home until the playoffs. And then they would fall to Ottawa and Cavalry in the postseason, and those 2 teams would eventually meet in the final. And Forge would see its shield be the only trophy that they would hoist in 2025. Brunetto is getting nicked there, but he's able to avoid. Advantage played. Touched into the middle. Flores circles, the youngest man in the 11 for Tigres at 22. Brunetto. Linez. Peyton pilfers. It's picked up here in the middle of the park. Speculative ball over the top, and nothing but yellow and blue kits there. Forge has only played Liga MX sides at home in the Champions Cup. Back in 2022's round of 16, they lost 1-0 here to Cruz Azul. Then in 2024 in round 1, 3-1 to Chivas. And last year was a 2-0 setback to Monterrey. All told, Forge is 0-6 all time in the Champions Cup. They've never earned a point of any kind. 2 one-goal losses in that stretch. They've given up three different times. Trying to change that here this evening. 13 minutes in, we're scoreless. Lainez. Pressure again. And a man down well across the field right there at the midfield stripe. And yet again, it looks like it's contact to the face that will stop this play for the moment. There'll be plenty of these moments. On a night like tonight, players trying to stay warm. See a lot of them, if not all, wearing gloves this evening. Few electing not to here tonight. Pressure this time, but Guzman poised, threads a needle and ensures that his team draws a foul. Rolls into the box, and Ertu does not come out, so the back line has to cover this ball. Masunda can't hold on to it, but it's taken away by Borges, 2-time CPL Player of the Year. Dodges the first man, tries to slalom past Garza once more and unable to do so. The echoing statement, coaches and players alike for Forge, was that their fans always so supportive, and that is the case yet again here tonight. A really good crowd, and the noise starting to amplify. They get a long throw from that far corner flag now. Taken short by Rama. Gets the return. Nice little ball. Maintains balance. Slices it across. That ball trickles across the line and stays out. Peyton was salivating. Couldn't angle it in. But that all started with a delightful maneuver from Rama. And Peyton comes in swinging at the last second. Guzman knew nothing about it. And Parada just aids it out. Getting a corner kick out of this for the first time tonight. Swinging ball in, Guzman swats it to the surface. And for the first time in our match today, Forge providing some pressure. The team's leading goal scorer from last season, Brian Wright, is on the bench, the only man to score double-digit goals. So an option for Forge, clad in orange tonight. Nimick mentioned how important the tactics would be on a night like tonight as this ball's funneled. Okioden gets the initial touch. Parada gets the second, gets it away, appeals for a handball. Still asking, perhaps, for an extra check here. Akita-kun asking for it, and now he comes even closer to Armando Villarreal. No need for a check in the eyes of the officiating crew. And as I was mentioning, Nimick said that you're playing against some really good players here for Tigres, some of the most talented that you'll see in this entire tournament. Tactics are going to be the most important. Can we go out and execute the game plan throughout the night? That's going to be the #1 difference, or differentiator rather, for Forge. Romelu surges, but gives it away. And now it is Forge's turn to hold a little bit of possession now. When you look at this tournament in totality, it's Mexican teams and everybody else. They've contributed roughly half of the finals all time. 40 titles, 20 runners-up. No other country has been to a final more than 11 times. Costa Rica with 11, they've won 6. Suriname have been to 10, but they've only won 2. So Mexico and everybody else have won. Canada have never won it. They've been to 3 finals all time. Might Forge change that in 2026? 20 minutes gone by. We're scoreless so far. Peyton had a chance in the 17th minute. That was by far our best of the match. Could not quite circulate it on frame, however. Vigon committing the foul. And back into play. It's Peyton getting forward. The official says stand up. Lainez. This is what you see from Tigres time and time again. Their ability to circulate the ball with venom. Looking to get in control of this game. Flores stops on a dime. Garza unable to thread that needle. Peyton knocks it down, and a foul given. Masunda gets taken down this time. Really good intervention there, and then Masunda with a nice touch was looking to run. By contrast, the temperature here about 21 degrees at kickoff. Currently in Monterey, where Tigres will host Forge next Tuesday, it is 81 degrees. 60-degree Fahrenheit differential between the two locations. A lighter packing effort needed for Forge when they go down to Mexico next Tuesday for the second leg. Bodies colliding doesn't prevent the dribble from rolling forward, and in the end the whistle does blow. Kedokun tugging on that arm the entirety of the way before finally hearing a whistle. Masunda had it for a moment, and now working it around. Tigres, each team with 2 shots so far, and ultimately given away. Lanez cannot hold on to it. Croatian Marko Ibrahimovic.
Jose, try to save the ball.
Finally finds something that he likes, and we do get a shove this time on Masunda. Romolo gets taken down. We see a goal in this first half. Two teams very much willing to feel each other out at this point in the contest. Tigres winless in their last 8 road Champions Cup matches. Haven't won since a visit to Motagua back in 2023 in the quarterfinal. Quiñones scoring the lone goal in that match in the 44th minute. So as good as Forge is at home overall, Tigres haven't been as good on the road in this fixture. Whistle does blow. Lanez is the man that is guilty, and he makes the appeals that Ibrahimovic was the one initiating the contact, and you kind of see it there. A little forearm to Lanez, but doesn't earn the whistle. Just starting to slowly work its way down the field, looking to take advantage here at Hamilton Stadium. Long throw arcs into the 18-yard box, doesn't quite make it to its destination. Allows Tigres to leak out. Bodies connects, and it's taken over. But again, those long passes from Forge not quite finding their marks in the opening 26 minutes. Tigres with plenty of possession. Leaves it back. Lanez was waiting, and the man with 33 caps for the Mexican national team watches it trickle out, and a corner kick for Tigres. And Lanez will be the man that will take it. The 25-year-old bends this ball in. First ball gets connected, rolling right across the penalty spot, and Forge gets it all the way down the park. Guzman goes down. Need to open it up there a little bit when that ball is pelted down the park. Gives Pizarro a chance to get the tablet out. We're set up for 5 rounds of this tournament. This is round number 1. The first 4 are all 2-legged series. The final is just the 1 leg. Round 1 will begin tonight and extend over the next 10 days. Round of 16 will be in March, quarterfinals in April, and then the end of April and early May will be your semifinal, with a final slated for May 30th. 27 clubs from North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, all here for this one. Watching this competition grow. Fans bringing out the extra long blankets here this evening to settle in for our matchup. Lanez gets past that first man and holds on to possession, leaves it back. Garza. Lanez putting in a lot of effort on this right-hand side. Garza helps, swings it across. Good knockdown, and enough to get the ball down towards midfield and out. Becker, the captain, doing his work defensively. 2020 Canadian Premier League Player of the Year. Half hour into this one, we are still scoreless. Shots are 3-2 in favor of Tigres. Michael Watring and our team with you here in Hamilton, Ontario. On a chilly night, temperatures will drift into the mid-teens Fahrenheit, or -degrees Celsius to begin the evening. Forge and Tigres have never met. Tigres making its 13th all-time appearance. The 2020 champions against Forge making a 4th consecutive trip to this. A team that has never finished worse than seconds on the table in the Canadian Premier League. Tigres make this build. Runs into an issue, and Lanez captures, but now we do get a whistle and a foul after the facts. Right there with the reckless slide against Brunetta. Rama's up. So a chance to put the ball back in play. Good knockdown. And a chance to build. There are numbers here for Tigres. Lainez charges. Lays it back up top. Chipped across, looking for that corner area. Brunetta just could not quite curl it into that left post. You could see what he sensed there. Brunetta chipping it around. 10 goals, 5 assists during last year's Liga MX season. And on the season, 11 goals, 4 assists through 23 matches, but has not scored since December 6th. Vigon. Brunetta. Lainez. The overlap of Garza. Cuts to the middle. Threads the needle. Brunetta tips it back. Gignac just misses wide left. A little bit of a paddle there from Bertu. But now Tigres starting to flourish. It is great give and go work. And Gignac nearly started our scoring. Corner kick whips in. It does win the head right in the middle of the park there, but goes out over Bertu. When Tigres is playing at its best, they are an elite club. Watching them flourish up and down the park. It's a group that can score at a high rate. They've only scored, however, 4 times in their first 4 matches in Liga MX's Apertura. Check that. The Glosora is where they're currently at in the season. Ball's given away. Masunda draws the foul. Tigres in the Apertura finished just 1 point behind Toluca at the top of the table. In fact, the top 4 teams were separated by a point apiece. Toluca, Tigres, Cruz Azul, and America. Very tight overall table. Ibrahimovic. Brunetta dodges 2. Can't get past the 3rd. Masunda rewinds. Ibrahimovic lifts it along the sideline. And a foul given. Oriaran draws the contacts. Blinks first. To that right-hand side, it's nudged aside. Rama takes this throw. Good positioning here. Okay, Nakun cannot hold on to it, and it goes out of play. That was a nice little throw. And Okedakun just could not quite hold on to it. Forge have never had a lead in the Champions Cup through their first 6 matches. Take another look at the foul. They've been outscored 12-3, and they've given up at least 2 and 5 consecutive. Looking to alter that storyline now with this look at a free kick. Becker and Borges are there. 3 of the last 5 Canadian Premier League Players of the Year. Becker swings it in. Guzman knocks it aside. Ibrahimovic angles it back to the wide side. Payton settles, bends, miss hit here. Splashes down, Guzman holds on to it. And sends this ball up to midfield. Gignac plays this ball into space. Brunetta has it saved. Bertu with his first big save in the Champions Cup. It all starts with that ball from the back. Guzman starts it. Gignac with a great ball forward. And then Brunetta denied. Corner kick in, off of 2, headed out. Flores pops. Borges turns off of the takeaway. And into a pocket where nobody resides. Tigres lurking right at the door, now trying to smash it down. 5 more minutes to go in the first half of the first match of the 61st edition of the Concacaf Champions Cup. Liga MX Tigres 0 and the Canadian Premier League's Forge 0. Michael Wantring and our team with you here, guiding you to the end of this first half and what has turned into an entertaining, scintillating performance on a cold night in Hamilton, Ontario. Immediate twist here. Brunetta. First intervention, chips around. Brunetta spikes and misses again. He's had a couple that have lifted a little high on his part. He's been close, just has not quite been able to finish. This was a mess being made, though, by Forge. Just could not get the ball away. And Brunetta misses high. You can see his reaction after the fact. Brunetta quickly off the restart. Masunda threads the needle up top. Babuli to the middle. Okedakun cannot hold on to it. Pressure here from Forge. Lorona guides it forward. Goriaran. And now Tigres relaxes just a moment while Forge settles back in. Brunetta pulls the strings. This is the first defender, Lanez. Gold Cup champion with Mexico in 2023. Gignac chips it to the left-hand side. Flores surges, crosses right into the defender, out for a corner. But we'll stop play here. Antoine Batisse took one for the team there. just having to sacrifice yourself in that moment. Another look at this moment. Okedokun cannot hold on to it. Good defensive work that time from the captain, Goriaran. Corner kick, Brunetta in. And once again, the man that sees it ricochet off of his body is Batiste. Quick corner this time. Off of the backside of the first. Flores hammers. Better 2. Scoops it over the top. That is a really good ball, and that was on target. Better 2 had to make that save. Otherwise, it would have been a golazo to begin the Champions Cup in 2026. Corner starting to add up. Brunetta bashes. It bounces in. Better 2 again. Has to get his left hand on it. What a debut it has been for the native of Congo. This is just one that is nightmarish if you're a keeper. That ball just splashes down, hits your own man. All he could do was get the left paw on it. Let's do another one. Brunetta weaves it in. This time it barely makes it to Nimic. Borges gets to it. Into a pocket. Guzman is so aggressive in his areas. It's already 6 corner kicks for Tigres. They have the game's last 6 shots. Now shooting Forge 8-2. Forge now trying to keep its head above water in this first half and get into the locker room. Chance after chance for Tigres. Ivarovic releases. Get it past Gignac. Across the field it goes. Guzman comes out. Cannot control. Rama was there, but it just misses his boot. 2 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. Guzman, who is as sure-handed as they come in this tournament, nearly made a mess there. Good read by Garza. Was on that championship team in the Champions Cup for Tigres in 2020. Squibbing ball picked up here. Masunda. You just see Guzman. He is erasing every chance. And now out. Masunda tries to find space. Couldn't take advantage of Guzman being well off of his line. Midway through stoppage time, Becker lofts it forward. Payton tosses it in. Guzman this time slows enough before scooping it up. Well, there have been a couple moments, as good as Tigres have been, where the thread has been peeling apart. But it looks like we're going to go into halftime with the score level at 0 goals for each side. In the 61st edition of the Concacaf Champions Cup, starting here in brisk Hamilton, Ontario, does come to an end in half number 1 at 0-0. Well, there was that push in the last 10 minutes by this Tigres side, looking to get back to the mountaintop here in 2020. 6. But that man, Dimitri Bertu, makes a couple critical saves in the waning minutes. And that's where we sit. Through 45 minutes of play, it is Forge 0 and Tigres 0. Step out for a break. Second half is coming up in a moment. First, we'll come back with a look at the highlights and set the stage for half number 2 when we return here to Chile, Canada in a moment.
Do you mind if I ask you a question? What do you make? Well, apparently the average person makes 6 friends a year, makes 7 jokes a day, and makes about 19 people blush. We'll make 1.4 babies. Make sense of that math. On average, you make a life that is by no means average. Then they make a mean grilled cheese. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think.
Scotiabank is the proud sponsor of the 2026 Concacaf Champions Cup. We're proud to continue supporting the growth of football across the region with Concacaf, working to level the playing field for thousands of kids and youth in the Americas. Visit scotiabank.com/FC and learn more. Everyone on the field.
From every corner, it travels carrying more than just air. This is the Ball of Champions. It's not just a ball. It's a symbol that connects cities, teams, and generations. This ball leads the charge.
The first match of many to come in the Concacaf Champions Cup for 2026 pits Forge and Tigres, and there are some good moments early in this match for Tigres. This is Villon joining the fray late, but unable to put the ball on target. That was in the 8th minute of play. And then this was really good here from Rama. Gets the ball around, pushes this ball in. Peyton was there. I think if he puts that on target, it probably ends up hitting Guzman, but nevertheless, for a moment, fans across Hamilton, Ontario thought it was going to be the first ever lead for Forge in the Champions Cup. Instead, that would be their last shot of the first half. And here comes the blitz of Tigres. Lanez laying it back. Brunetta nearly sought out that left-hand corner of the post. Then give and go. Brunetta, Gignac blasting. And this time it was better too, getting a right paw to it and ensuring that it goes wide. And then this was off of Guzman's foot to midfield. Gignac, Brunetta makes the run. This is in the 40th minute. And Bertu makes a good right foot to save this ball. And then moments later, this ball bobbles around. Brunetta found space. Couldn't quite keep the ball down, hitting it over the top of the target. And then in the 43rd minute, this shot from Flores. Excellent save from Bertu over the top. And some great chances in the final 10 minutes from Tigres, but unable to finish any of those opportunities in the first half of play. But nevertheless, a really good matchup between these two clubs in their first ever meeting between these two sides. And Forge and Tigres.
It's not just a game. 27 teams, one path. Strength, madness, obsession. One cup. This is football, and these are its most epic battles. This is the Concacaf Champions Cup.
The official hotel of the Concacaf Champions Cup. Hilton hospitality is unmatched and offers features for every fan. Wherever your game plan takes you, count on the comfort and convenience of Hilton. Comfort.
Only more than
Field for the Concacaf Cup.
the ball.
Don't join in verbal abuse or discrimination.
Change is inevitable. No, I'm not talking about generations. Trends have changed, styles have evolved, and the way we enjoy the game has totally transformed. The world might look different, but our love for football is unstoppable. That's why Concacaf Kickoff is here. We're all about connecting with you, speaking your language, and giving you a voice, boosting your passion for our game. Join us and be part of the movement.
Please welcome back to the pitch for the second half, Tigres and your for Justin.
Tigres are making two changes at halftime as we start the second half of play. Osiel Herrera and Edgar Lopez come into the match. That duo replaces Lainez and Gignac on the pitch. So those are the only two changes at halftime for these two groups. And we'll see what kind of impact that means in half number 2. Great to have you with us for our matchup here today. Michael Watring and the rest of our team here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Temperatures dipping into the high teens now in Fahrenheit in a chilly day, as it's sitting right around 80 degrees Fahrenheit in Mexico, and that's where we'll be next Tuesday night for leg number 2 of this matchup. We'll see what happens. The first of our 3 matches this evening in the Champions Cup. The next one comes your way in about 45 minutes, with 45 more minutes still to tell the tale of our contest here today. Tigres won the championship in 2020. They've been runners-up 3 times. Forge, meanwhile, have never won a match. They've never drawn a match in 6 prior matchups in the Champions Cup. See how Tigres comes out in this one. Brunetta promptly on the ball. Brunetta loops it in and hits the chest of the first man. The shot attempt whistles off the body of a teammate from Lopez, and then off of Becker, out for a corner. And that was a big advantage in the first half. This will be the 8th corner of the match for Tigres. Forge did not have a shot on target in the first half, being outshot 8-3 in half number 1. A yellow card here. First one given. Ishmael Okedekun picks up our first yellow card for either team in this matchup. Setting the stage in this one. This is round 1, leg 1. This isn't unfamiliar waters for Tigres to be in a matchup in the first leg of their efforts. Last year, they reached the semifinals of the Champions Cup, losing to Cruz Azul 2-1. Tied 1-1, and then in the second leg, they gave up an 82nd minute PK to the Golden Boot winner, Sepulveda. Last year's leg 1 in round 1 against Real Estelí, they lost 1-0. They bounced back with a 3-0 win. Flores tips this up top. This shot attempt bobbled. Bertu could not cleanly pick that ball up, and it looked like a surefire Tigres goal. This is how Tigres is coming out. Gignac and Lainez out. Those were 2 players that were very influential in that first half. So Lopez and Herrera will now be tasked with handling the midfield. In 4 first legs last year, Tigres only scored 2 goals. So they're trying to get a little more potent here in this first leg. And it looked like for sure it was going to happen just moments ago. Flores slaloms past the first man, springs into space. Flores goes down, no foul. Batiste blocks that ball. It's chipped back, dodging the first man, Villon. And it stays in play. Herrera was making the run, never arrives. Brunetta, quick turn. Flores rolls it up top, knocked back. Brunetta! Excellent save by Bertu. Brunetta's had a couple chances here. Bertu making a couple important saves. was a best 11 selection in this tournament. In the midfield. This is a good ball here. On the juggle. Okenapun forces Guzman to get down and shovel that aside. He was onside. It's a really good save by Guzman. Coming away with that one with the left hand. Corner kick for the second time. Forge cycles in. Guzman knocks it back. Borges picks it up and gets another corner here. The Canadian Premier League Shield winners, 58 points last year. They only lost twice in the regular season. Plays this ball short this time around, and they give it away. They never get the ball into the box. Over the top, Becker chases. Picked back up, it's Borges. Borges whips it in, knocked down, Basunda. Can't quite put it on target because the man's standing right in front of him. Without a doubt, the best sustained pressure by Forge. That left knee gets in the way. Third corner in this sequence here. And a third bite. And trying to take the advantage. Borges curls. Rama knocks it down. All the way out. It's a laser from distance. Guzman, right place. Both keepers have been in perfect spots on these long distance shots. Borges again. Runs right into a defender. Brunetta charges. Game is opened up in the first 8 minutes of the second half. Flores. Two defenders over. Working it around. Vigon. Parada. Herrera. Becker takes it away, now tries to get out of this mess. Ibrahimovic. Tigres back on it. Herrera picks it up. Tigres quick to these balls in the attacking third. Flores. Funnels. Picked up. Vigon. Saved. Yet again. Bercu has been all over it. Both keepers earning their money so far in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. If this is any indication of what we can expect the rest of the way, we are in for an absolute dandy. Flores sprints to the middle. Swings it to the right side, but out of the reach this time around of Lopez. Both sides will take a quick breath. Forge has basically been the class of the Canadian Premier League. 4 postseason titles since 2019, 3 shields as well in that stretch. They had the best goal differential and the fewest goals allowed in last season's Premier League. This ball chested down. Flores tips it over. Brunetta cannot control. Rama had it for a moment. Brunetta twirls. Brunetta cannot quite slice those two defenders apart. Masunda. Lorona aids it out. Babuli. Rama throws it along the sideline. Okedokun carries that ball out. '57th minute in what has been a delightful second half of play. Both sides heating up the pitch. Okedokun knocks it down. Okedokun drives it low. Guzman right there. He did a really good job of tucking that in. And both sides in the attack have not picked posts. They've gone right down the middle a lot. And Guzman makes another stop. Over the top this time around. A shove in the back. Ball won cleanly. Our official standing right there. Tigres does not slow down, however. Brunetta. Flag stays down. Lopez. Brunetta leaves. Flores. Masunda steps back to defend. Babuli. Bertu. It on the 1 hour mark. Brunetta. Flores flies it in. Becker guides it out. Romulo lays it back, and once again both back lines able to breathe for a moment here. Forge's first ever year of competition was 2019. Trying to have another first in their organization's history here tonight with their first ever Champions Cup win. Flores smashes off of that first defender. Ultimately, Peyton carries to the sideline, stumbles, and it's out of play for a throw, and we're going to get changes here as well as you take another look at this last little shove here. Just not a whole lot. An initial bump from Nimick. So changes for each side. Angel Correa replaces Jesus Garza.
Our numbers 7, Ismael Okedokun, and number 18, Babuli. Entering the game, number 9.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Babuli comes out, as well as Okedokun. Brian Wright, who led the team in goals last season, had 12 for the year in the CPL, and 2 more in the Canadian Championship, comes in. The other man coming on is Anthony Armatario. What will come of this final half hour? Both sides starting to make some changes. Both sides looking for that impact. Kedekun was on the lone yellow of the match, so he's now done. That ball's given away. Flores right there. Leads it into the path here of Correa. He immediately runs into Ibrahimovic. And then over to help out as well as Peyton. Handball. Free kick Tigres. Becker, the man called for this one. Armando Villarreal is all over that one. Quick turn here. Borges surges. Here's Wright. Wright ducks in. Launches off of a defender's body. Out of the fray for a moment, but given right back. Brunetta. Wright nudges it. Borges controls. Becker angles to the sideline, guides it forward, and that ball ricochets off the first man. Nobody's down that sideline. Parada ushers it out. Goal kick. Well, the second half has been filled with goal-scoring chances. 20 combined shots, 10 combined on target overall for the match. 6 of those 10 shots on target have come here in the second half. But will either team be able to take an advantage into leg 2? Always imperative for the home team in leg 1 to set the tone, because then not only could they have the advantage going on the road, but then the away goals, which could ultimately be the tiebreak, could be extra valuable at that point. Brunetta works his way down the field. Herrera bounces this ball in off the turn, hits the first man. Brunetta blasts and scores. The 2025 Best 11 selection pulls Tigres out in front in the 65th minute. The 2020 Champions Cup title holders lead 1-0. Here's another look at this. Might they go back and look at it? Brunetta onside for the moment. And they are checking it at this point. He was standing there lying in wait. I mentioned he hasn't scored since December 6th. For now, it's an opener. Juan Brunetta. You can see the mouth right there of Armando Villarreal checking for offside. It's tight, it's close. It's an interesting conversation to be had inside of that VAR room. Chris Penzo and Tatiana Guzman are the two looking over this. Brunetta waiting to hear whether or not this will officially go down as a goal. 28-year-old hopeful. No goal. Offside. VAR overturns it. It looked like maybe just a little bit upon our first vantage point of it. And what helps for sure is that line right there. You got a little bit of the chalk from the American football lines available that are still seeped into the grass here. So that erases this goal scoring chance that would have put Tigres out in front. And we circled that moment, not just for the rest of this one, but perhaps for leg number 2. So we still sit scoreless after that one is erased. Brunetta in his 76 career goals. Watches that one get erased by the technology here. How to get it right. And now Forge put on high alert. Correa. Brunetta. Parada across. Flores did a lot of work on the left. Now he's on the right. Accelerating out of the pack. This time around is Otto Mathora. Out in front it goes. Masunda bobbles and cannot control as it goes out for a goal kick. Good read here. Rama takes it. Masunda knocks it back. Bodies collide. Whistle for a foul, however. Resets here. Batiste lifts it for Rights. Rama watches it go through his legs. Has to reset. Right chases. Brings it in. And it goes out for a throw. Instant shot whistling high. More minutes left, scoreless in this matchup. Tigres have the advantage in shots, 14-8. This is a foul. Armothario. It's taken down that time around by Vigon. Another bump, and Tigres starting to get a little frustrated here. Tigres after this one will play again on Friday. Santos comes to town. 8 p.m. Eastern time kickoff for that one. Santos currently sitting in 17th on the table, just 1 point so far in the Clausura table. Correa, Flores, Nix, good ball. Correa, Flores, going back and forth here. Correa twirls, Brunetta. Unable to hold on to that, would have been magnificent again. Instead, another bite at it here. Vigon gives it away. Correa back to it. Waits to explode. Has just enough of an angle to fly it in. Two heads, gets it out for Forge, but it rolls out.
Substitution.
And a change coming now. Masunda is coming out, as is Borges.
Leaving the game are numbers 17, Jose Masunda, and number 19, Tristan Borges. Entering the game, number 12, Maxi Fillon. And number 22, Noah Jensen.
Noah Jensen and Maxime Fillon are the two that come in. Changes happening in the 74th minutes. Couple Tigres changes as well. It's going to be Diego Sanchez and Osvaldo Rodriguez coming in. They replace Flores and Vigon.
Leaving the game are numbers 20, Marcelo Flores, and number 6, Orlando. Entering the game, number 30, Diego Sanchez, and number 35, Osvaldo Rodriguez.
Herrera spikes it off of the first man's boots. A chance to maneuver here. There are some numbers for Forge. 15 minutes to go. Still scoreless. Brunetta's goal in the 65th minute, erased after VAR overturns it for offside. Tigres in the yellow and blue kits, it's the orange kits for Forge here this evening. Shots are 14-9 overall for the match. It is 6-6 in the second half. Into the box it goes, right into the waiting hands of Bertu. His club debut has been one to remember. He's made 7 saves so far tonight. He has been sure-pawed in there. Look at the tug there. That warrants the foul. Arama surges, leaves it out wide. Jensen crosses into the sky. Guzman catches. Lorona got just enough of a piece to put that in the air and keep it away from the attack. Massive credit to the crowd here on a Canadian cold kind of night in Ontario. A facility that seats 40,000 has made for a nice atmosphere in this one. Forge looking for its first ever result in the Champions Cup, having lost all 6 of its prior matches. Brunetta has it hit his arm. He's appealing that it hit his shoulder. Will not win that argument, however, this time around. Yeah, there it is. It's the bicep. Tigres in the Apertura final last year went all the way to the finish line and needed 12 rounds of penalties to be taken down. That was an absolutely wild one against Toluca. Back and forth they went. Each team making 8 of their first 9. Tigres actually missed their first attempts. Toluca missed their 3rd round, and then everybody was perfect until the 10th. Both teams missed in the 10th and 11th. Tigres missing in the 12th. Toluca scoring. This ball's brought down. Working his way out of trouble before finally feeding it to a teammate. 9-8 would be the final in pens against Toluca. after aggregate saw it go 2-2 in the final. Tigres looking for a lead in this one. Herrera chops it off of that first man, right, gobbles it up. Quick surge through the middle here from Jensen. Payton in the final 10 minutes of the match. Lengthy run here from Nimick. That ball hammers across the field, waiting for this waiting run. Rama is there. He's been creative. Leaves it back. Cross attempt knocked down. Mathario heads that ball away. Brunetta will give it to a teammate. Look at that big-time surge in the opening 10 minutes of the second half, where it looked like both teams were going to rattle the net at least once. Ultimately not seeing anything come out of those chances. VAR overruling the only ball that has hit the net. Brunetta's goal in the 65th minute erased. Advantage played here for Tigres. Right-hand side, game opening up. Trying to find space. Lashing it into the 18 was Sanchez that time. Lorona keeps it in. Correa has it intercepted. And now Fillon charges out of the pack to right. Right looks for some help. Tries to evade Rodriguez. Rama keeps it away from Brunetta. To the final 7 minutes. Fillon. Maxime Fillon. Becker, the captain now. One-touch passing. Ultimately, Ibrahimovic loops it over the top. Gobbled up there by Lorona. And now Guzman settles. A reminder still to come tonight. Olympia in Club America. About 15 minutes away from kicking that match. And then San Diego and Pumas wrap up the nights. Night number 1 of the Concacaf Champions Cup. Pumas have won 3 titles. Only Cruz Azul, Club America, Pachuca, and Monterrey have more. Club America eyeing its quest for an 8th championship to regain the all-time edge by itself after Cruz Azul won last year. Olympia have won 2 championships. So 3 of the 4 teams still to come tonight have at least 2 titles. Bounces off of the foot that time of Jensen. It's given away, no foul. Becker takes his eyes up, sends Payton forward. Becker, overlapping, late arriving run. Cross comes in, the header is there. Rama rams it high. That was a delightful ball in. Rama was in a terrific spot. You can sense there, if you're Forge, that was the moment to take the advantage. More minutes plus stoppage time remains. The opening match of the 2026 Concacaf Champions Cup. First leg, round one. Round two, or leg two of round one between these teams will be in Mexico a week from tonight with roughly a 60-degree temperature swing. Michael Watring and our team with you, closing in on the finish line of our match. Side will get another great chance here before the night's over. 16-10 shots standing at this point. A reminder that Forge ended its season on November 2nd. They don't kickstart their season until April 4th. Meanwhile, Tigres just started the Clausura of the 2025-26 Liga MX year. Rama throws this in. Ball's picked up. Middle of the field. Going to the deck without a whistle. Brunetta gets tugged. Doesn't prevent him from continuing his run. Beats two men. Loops it to the middle. Can't quite get it over the top of the central defender. Right goes down hard. Brunetta misses on that ball. Rama rifles to the middle of the park. Herrera dashes, cuts it back. Herrera crosses. Last touched by Tigres, despite Brunetta making his appeals. Another look at that challenge there by Sanchez. Bobby Smirniotis appealing for a foul that time around, and will not hear it. 2 more minutes plus the stoppage time number waiting to be confirmed. Pizarro played with this team up until the end of last season, taking over as manager at just 35 years of age, after an illustrious career that saw him play in nearly 500 matches in his time with Tigres. Run here. Ultimately is crossed though. Marko Jevremovic doesn't find a orange shirt. Well, we get into stoppage time here in 30 seconds. And unless something changes, we're going to be sitting at 0-0 heading to Mexico to decide one of the spots in the round of 16. Tigres looking to have a say in that. Sanchez charges. Sanchez crosses. Well, Bertu was well off of his line, and he's fortunate that ball stays wide. 3 minutes of added time here. You see Sanchez again. Bertu trying to erase that runner and not as focused on his own nets. Guzman spent a lot of time outside of his own 18-yard box in this match. A third of the way through stoppage time. Bertu has made 7 saves. Guzman has made 3. Good give and go. It's Brunetta. Brunetta surges, crosses, off of the chest this time of Dan Dimick. And right into the body of Bertu. Wright chases this. Second ball. Fillon was waiting on it. And now it ends up done. Coming down. Forge not done yet. Becker. Wright. Jensen. Becker serves it in. Guzman is there and cradles. Now rolls it into the waiting path for one last surge here. The captain, Goriaran, sends it to the right. Sanchez overlaps. Sanchez crosses. Goal kick. Well, the first time that these fans get a look at Forge. Some moments to build on. Some moments for this team to get excited about. The pieces are there for another run that is Shield and maybe more in the Canadian Premier League. But for the moment, a challenge against Tigres in the Champions Cup. And they have given away a free kick with a handball just outside of the 18-yard box, right on the arc of the chalk. And Tigres will have a free kick to try to win this. There it is, the captain Becker's left hand. Well, it all comes down to this final moment. Nahuel Guzman is all the way forward, the 39-year-old goalkeeper, providing his insights. Nearly a half-decade older than his manager. Oh, if there's any doubt of who's going to take this, it's Juan Brunetta. That immediately is the man that steps in front. 28-year-old Argentine. Goriaran is right there, but no doubt it'll be Brunetta. Look at all the congestion in front of Bertu. For the win on the final kick of the match. And now appeals that a man is too close. Still waiting. Brunetta still appealing. Brunetta bashes off of the man. Bertu punches. Final whistle blows. And we are scoreless in leg 1. Forge 0. Tigres 0. Full time here in the first match of the 61st edition of the Concacaf Champions Cup. And leg 2 in Mexico a week from tonight will decide the first entrance into the round of 16. Well, everybody making their final appeals to Armando Villarreal about how tight that was. But in the end, it is scoreless. 0-0 your full-time score. We'll take a break. We'll have interviews and highlights in a moment as you take another look at that defense of Jensen getting his body in front and knocking that ball aside before the full-time whistle. Scoreless here this evening. We'll wrap things up with interviews and highlights when we return here to chilly Hamilton, Ontario, Canada in a moment.
Country Patrol. Fans, it's time to make someone's night. Get those 50-50 tickets out because one of us is walking away with some hot cash. Tonight's winner of the 50-50 jackpot for the amount of $1,095 has ticket number FA 7159843. Again, that's FA 7159843. Congratulations, you can find your winnings at any of the guest services locations.
Fernando Gorriarán, ¿cómo sentiste el partido? Intenso, 0-0 con este frío.
Sí, complicado, una cancha complicada, un clima complicado, pero bueno, ahora toca definir en casa, descansar, pensar en lo que va a ser la liga el fin de semana y obviamente después pensar en la vuelta que va a ser importante en casa.
¿Sientes que será igual de complicado en la vuelta?
Sí, pero tenemos el plus de jugar con nuestra gente en nuestro estadio, nos hacemos muy fuertes y bueno, aprovechar la localidad va a ser importante.
Find all the best moments from this match and others on Concacaf's YouTube page.
With skipper Kyle Becker, a really deserved 0-0 draw. What was the best out of that one for you guys?
Just the collective, the performance. Everyone bought into the game plan. At times, you know, we wanted to play a little bit more. Guys always want the ball to the feet, but in games like this, you can't give up anything. They have quality on that side, so we just knew we had to get the job done, give as much of a chance to us as possible, and that just means trying to keep a clean sheet.
You talk about the clean sheet. Let's go there. Dimitri Berto makes his club debut, and you get your clean sheet against the Concacaf opposition. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, not bad. I think his resume speaks for himself. Obviously, he has quality. He's played some big games before, and he has something to prove too. So we're happy to have him, and happy to have that first one underway.
Can I ask you about the conditions, Kyle? You played in lots of games. Was that one of the coldest?
Yeah, it was pretty chilly. I'm just happy the pitch was a little better than last year. Allowed us to actually move the ball at times. Obviously, it was cold for both teams, but it is what it is, and I think it was decent for a night of football.
Final one, your first competitive game for about 4 months, to go out there and play a team from Mexico in mid-season form and get a 0-0. As a captain, it must fill you with immense pride.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, obviously from a small club from Hamilton, playing in Canada, to go up against a team of this caliber and get a point at home in this competition, it's huge. So I hope the fans of this club, the people in this club, the fans of this league don't take that for granted. I'm very grateful to be in this competition. And yeah, it's one done. We have another way to go, but yeah, we got to be happy with this.
Well said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Max. Full-time highlights for our matchup here tonight in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Forge and Tigres playing for the first time ever, and it was not short on action. Masunda taking that attempt that Guzman denies in this second half, and then Okeda-kun blasts this ball low. Guzman denies another. He had a solid night, sturdy night in goal. Forge did its best in the second half. They were really solid in the attack, really growing into the game against this Tigres group. There was some physicality, there was some pushing and shoving, there were some bumps and bruises. Here it looked like Brunetta had given Tigres a 1-0 advantage. Flag stays down initially as you take another look at this, and this pass off of the body. Brunetta finishes, flags down, VAR looks, there's your look. Brunetta's left foot slightly off, he is offside, erase the goal, we remain scoreless. This moment, Rama making the run in, could have put that ball away to give Forge a winner in the waning moments, but could not put it on target. And then the full-time whistle would nearly blow, at least we thought it would, but instead handball on Becker. Brunetta's free kick off of the defense. There is your full-time whistle right there, and that is how things end in this matchup. The first of 51 matches to come in the 61st edition of the Concacaf Champions Cup. And on an extremely cold night here in Hamilton, Ontario, both sides settle for a point and settle for leg number 2 a week from tonight. We still have 2 more matches to go here this evening. Hope you can stick with us as Olympia and America have kicked off in our next match of the Champions Cup. But for our entire crew here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, I'm Michael Wattring signing off, where Forge and Tigres finish 0-0 tonight. We'll talk to you again from Mexico next week for the second leg of this round 1 matchup. I'm Michael Wattring saying so long. Good night, everybody.